Wrestling Rabbit Hole, episode number
Eight.
9? 8.
Eight.
8. All right. Um, Look, man, I think there's only one thing on the people's mind right now. And they want to know if you got your Thanksgiving sausage or not.
Uh, no, I did not make any. So it's on me.
It's definitely
Um,
on you.
no, I did not. I
Sad.
made a ribeye instead.
Not a bad choice.
That was a good choice.
Not a bad choice at all. Feels a
That was
little
a
bit
good
more
choice.
traditional. Um, did you stay home or did you go over to um, Sierra's family?
We just ate at the house.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
We just made food
Hey.
here and just ate it alone. It was the greatest.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't the greatest. You were raving about wanting Thanksgiving sausage. You didn't have Thanksgiving sausage, so it was close to the greatest, but it couldn't fulfill all your wants and needs.
Yeah, but I've never had a ribeye on Thanksgiving.
That's fair.
So
Is your new thing Thanksgiving ribeye now? Is that has that replaced the sausage?
we'll check in again next year.
So, all right. Well, I will report back on the deviled eggs. I wasn't kidding. My mom had some deviled eggs set out before. We had deviled eggs at, and then my brother. I'm telling you, we're crazy about him. My brother brought deep fried deviled eggs.
That sounds so good.
It was really good.
We
It
also
was
had deviled
really
eggs
good.
here.
It's not a it's not to be played with. We take it very serious. So we had pre-dinner deviled eggs. We had dinner deviled eggs, and then we also had deep fried deviled eggs. You had so many options for tasty eggs on Thanksgiving. So mission success.
Nice.
But all right, let's get into it. Let's get into it. Let's talk college wrestling for a little bit here. Um, Want to recap or what's up first? Should we do Vegas or should we do recap first?
Recap probably makes more sense first.
All right. What was your favorite duel of the weekend, bro?
I mean, UNI Missouri was good.
UNI Missouri was very good.
Yeah,
Kind of
and
a beatdown.
yeah, and I would be biased about it too. So
Yeah, absolutely. I saw a thing that said like both teams were without three of their starters. Um, without three of their ranked wrestlers. Starters is up in the air; it's to be determined. But um, still, though, you and I won 8 matches, and where you and I guys were out is where uh, Missouri guys were out in terms of like what would probably be a trade. So this duel with both teams at full health and full lineup maybe goes one more match Missouri's way. Maybe.
yeah,
So it felt like, but I think one of those comes back to you and I. I think 49 comes back to you and I. So
that's fair.
you know, uh, good duel, interesting matchups. We do have to give the biggest shout out to UFC Fight Pass. UFC Fight Pass, what's this called? Their overlay?
Yeah, they're the overlay or their HUD or whatever you want to call it. The things that aren't the actual video.
Yeah, it's the best.
Yeah, they do a
It's the
good
best.
job. They,
Names are clear. Schools are represented very clearly. Period indicated.
yeah, I mean,
Uh,
they have the athletes rank, the school and the school's rank, the scores, the logos, periods, times, weight classes, what match number they're on, who has ride time and how long, and if something cool happens, they show the replay in the lower corner, so you
yeah,
can
it's
watch.
a subsection.
Yeah, you can watch the continue to watch the match and watch that cool thing that just happened.
Yeah, and
So
it's $3.
yeah, for just the wrestling, it's $3 a month.
Yep, yep. I have a UFC Fight Pass membership. I've watched a couple. I've watched like Mikey B fight in some of their other promotions and things like that on there. So like I have one, but Um, for a long time, I was anti. Like, God, we got to get another subscription, and we got to do another. They're the best.
Yeah, they did a really good job production wise, and I think they have 12. I think there's 12 matches that they're gonna do, like throughout the whole season. I think that's
They're
all
going to
they.
cover 12 duels.
Yeah, I think that's all they're
Yeah,
gonna cover, which, I mean, seems pretty. I mean, it seems pretty worth it.
yeah, yeah. I mean, not only that, but it's actually done better than everywhere else.
Yeah, and so if the, I mean, they weren't in an arena; they were at a high school and were able to get massive production value.
Yeah,
They had multiple cameras, multiple angles. Like, you just you can't argue with it. There's some people just need to step it up. That's all I'm saying.
absolutely. No, it was really good. I thought, I don't listen to the announcers. I usually mute it, so I have no idea how the actual broadcast was. Because I tend to just mute and watch the wrestling. Um,
Yeah, I'm
usually I'm watching on my phone, so that's why. But
yeah, I'm really jaded about any commentary because it's just the things they say are not what I would say, and I'm just like, I don't like that.
you wouldn't talk.
I would
You would
say
go down as one of the worst.
so. The things that I would say would only apply to like psychopath fans.
Yeah, you would just go interesting application.
Uh,
You would be the most NPC, uh, re, like sideline reporter of all
there would
time.
be no color in my
Interesting
commentary.
choice. No, no.
It would, yeah,
I wonder why he did that. Jake Hodges.
yeah.
I wonder why he shot a single leg on Keegan O'Toole. You know you're going to get cradled.
See, that's good commentary though.
Jake Hodges.
That's literally what I was yelling at my TV when the UNI guy shot a single leg on King and O'Toole.
Shout out Nick Fox.
Yeah.
But I thought overall, um, UNI wrestled better against Missouri than they did against South Dakota State. So I like to see that trajectory. I really
Yeah.
like to see that trajectory.
Yeah, by far.
Um, Let me ask you this before we talk about Vegas. As far as dual teams go, who has jumped on your radar that you were like, oh wow, I didn't think they were going to be this good?
Um, this is just a feeling. I guess I have no, but I really liked watching Illinois against Missouri.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
So
They're 5-0.
then, yeah, then them. I
Yeah,
actually couldn't
yeah,
have told you who won that duel, but I just like the way Illinois wrestled.
yeah, yeah. So Illinois is a good one. My surprise team this year, though, has been Minnesota. Minnesota is even with or without Gable Steveson. I just wasn't looking at them to be um, as good as they appear to be. They're 3-0 this year, but they beat South Dakota State 30-3 this weekend. They put the beat down on them.
Yikes.
Um, they're ranked ninth in duel right now. They're 3-0, and I think 9 out of their 10 guys are ranked in the top 20.
That's a pretty good duel team.
Yeah, they got a couple. Well, they got at least one good transfer, Cooper Flynn at 25.
Yeah.
He's a stud, but yeah, they beat the brakes off of South Dakota State in what I thought would probably be a pretty close duel.
Yeah. Yeah. That's fair. That's a good pick.
So, and then what about individual? As far as an individual goes, who have you been like, oh wow,
I mean, I'm not gonna pass up a chance to watch Hippolyto.
I agree. I agree.
So
I agree. Um, and then not to really piggyback off, but I have really enjoyed the way Kanan Webster is competing right now. I love how hard he wrestles. That dude wrestles so hard.
That's the Illinois kid, right?
Yeah, he just
Yeah.
lost. He just lost to Lachlan McNeil.
I
Um,
mean,
but uh, I just really like the way he scraps, man. It's intense. He's intentional about what he's trying to do. He freaking wrestles hard. He's offensive. He's aggressive. So I'm on board with the Kanan Webster train. I really like that kid.
yeah.
So, but yeah, there's a. I guess looking at like the top 10, it feels like the same schools for the most part, year in and year out. So, you know, the number 10 through number 20 is where you tend to get a lot of um, variety over the years. And boy, it's cool to see. It's cool to see some teams crack into the top 10 that you typically don't get a chance to see. So,
Yeah.
but okay, are you ready for the? Are you ready for the? I had this discussion with Jacob on the way back from our tournament this weekend.
Then probably not.
Where do you think Oklahoma State finishes at the NCAA tournament, and where do you think they should be ranked as a dual team? If like the season progresses as it is,
Um, what is their?
they're third in both.
They're ranked third. And they're 4-0.
Yeah, they've beaten Wyoming, Oregon State, Arizona State. So Wyoming's not ranked. Oregon State's ranked 23rd. Arizona State's ranked 25th. And who who did they wrestle Missouri? Is that one of Missouri's? No, Missouri's got two losses. It was Illinois and us.
Utah Valley.
Um, yes, Utah Valley, unranked.
Yeah. Um, I don't know, man.
Jacob said
I'm
he
not
feels
good.
like
I'm not good at this.
oh,
Like,
you're just scared.
well, I mean,
Afraid to,
I don't think they're third.
you think they're more or less?
I think they're worse than third.
Yeah, I agree.
But what did Jacob say?
Number two.
He's an idiot.
Shots fired. Pew pew.
Uh,
Um,
yeah. We'll probably get to kind of. We'll get a good indication from this weekend. They're going to Vegas, right?
I don't know. Are they?
It looks like it's on their schedule according to WrestleStat, anyway. But
Well, we can look up their schedule too.
yeah, they are. They are going to.
Good.
They're on the team list
Good.
anyway.
Good. That will be good.
Yeah, they're on the team list, but who knows? I mean, they might not wrestle. I imagine they'll wrestle their best guys, but you never know.
Yeah. I mean, I'm assuming they will.
Yeah, you can definitely see the influence of David
David,
Taylor / Penn State creeping in to some of the things they're doing.
what are you noticing?
I mean, I've seen so many like hard cut and then try and smash a cradle on right away, and if it doesn't work, just cut them anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. A lot of left hand collar ties too.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I mean the cradle thing's probably the thing I'm seeing the most.
Yeah, man, trying to pin people. Who knew? That'd be a good idea.
And you just catch guys. I mean, when they go to cut him, they like after the second takedown, like okay, he's gonna cut me, and they relax, and you get cradled.
Yeah,
It's just
it's
like
cheeky. But yeah, well, I'm glad they're going to Vegas. I mean, that's a good a good segue because we should talk about Vegas. I think it's the no it's well it's the December national tournament as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
It's a giant preview into what to expect and what to see um, from some of the top teams moving forward. Um, Michigan is there, Oklahoma State's there, Iowa State's there, UNI is there,
Yeah, there's 30.
uh,
There's like 31 teams going.
Cornell is there.
Yeah.
Who are some of the other?
I mean, Arizona State's got some guys.
Yeah, yep.
Cornell, Iowa State, Michigan, Nebraska, NC State, North Dakota, Ohio State, Oklahoma State, South Dakota State's going, Northern Iowa's going, Utah Valley's going,
Virginia Tech is there usually, aren't they?
Virginia Tech's going, West Virginia's going, and Wyoming's going. That wasn't all the teams, but those are the ones that stuck out to me.
Yeah, sick. I'm really excited for that tournament. Actually,
Yeah.
um, I know I'll be in Michigan with the boys at a P&L dual tournament, but
Yeah,
this will be on the whole time.
I'll be on my couch with this.
Yeah, I mean this will be on the whole time. So this will be good. Purdue's got a couple good kids. I
Yeah, I mean,
mean,
there's a bunch of other good schools there.
some of these weights are going to be awesome.
Yeah. What weight did I send you the other day? It was like 33 or something. It's gonna be good. No, it was 4. It was 57.
57, yeah,
Yeah, it was
57.
57.
Yeah, 57 is going to be really good. Um, lots of chaos. Lots of chaos. Hopefully everyone gets out of it alive. You don't like to see early injuries, but man, I'm excited. We should have done a pick 'em. See who we think will win each weight, but either
Well,
way, I think it's going to be a freaking scrap of a tournament and I am looking forward to the results when it's done.
for sure.
So, anything else on the college wrestling front?
I don't think so. I think that's all I got anyway. Um, yeah. I mean, that kind of covers the intro and news.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. So, all right, let's transition back to youth wrestling a little bit here, more of our forte. Um, something I think is probably something really important to talk about and is definitely mismanaged every weekend, every weekend. Um, the variance and the level of officiating you are going to get at a youth tournament is crazy. It might be high school athletes or it might be some like well paid officials. It could be
Yeah.
all over the map. Um, I think we should maybe talk about some of the ways we try to approach these situations. How do you prepare yourself to know if you're going to have to argue calls or let calls go or whatever? And then we can talk about some of our maybe lowlights as well as highlights interacting with officials. So I guess you walk into a tournament and you see the officiating crew. What do you do to prepare yourself mentally for what you're going to have to deal with?
Um, I I just we both read the rules. We go through and read the rule book so that we know, and just just doing that allows me not to like instantly freak out when we're there. Like I think just understanding the rules and then if I know if I have to argue something, I know that I prepared for it. Like instead of just like that looks stupid, why'd you do that? Like that's not a good argument. Like, hey, buddy, I read the rule book, and then this is what it said in the rule book. Why are we not applying it like this?
Yeah, I feel like I mean I'm probably actually on the opposite side of this, where like because I know we've read the rule book, um, if we're dealing with somebody who I'm like, oh, this guy just doesn't know the rules, we're gonna have to be super patient here. Like it's a high school kid. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. It is whatever. My job then becomes like, let's make sure our athletes are safe. Right? Like if I see a
Yeah,
super inexperienced official, a young kid, or a really old official, my main concern is to just watch for uh, dangerous positions nonstop, right?
yeah,
And then after that, I start to really evaluate, like, okay, hey, this we have an argument here, but the way this match is going, they're gonna have one in a second, so let's just let it play out. We'll just kind of like let this match unfold. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. Points are gonna be missed, but they're gonna be missed on both sides.
yeah. Well,
But then there's the third tier where I show up and it's a certified official and they just have no idea what they're doing. That is the one that's gonna get me quick. It's gonna get me freaking quick.
yeah.
Um, so that's where I've got to like be in the right frame of mind because how I approach them matters.
Yeah, that's true. It does. I get angry way quicker when I assume you're supposed to know what you're doing.
Yeah,
As in, like, okay, are supposed to read the rule book and know what's going on,
yeah,
and you didn't, and then I get mad.
yeah. Well, that's what I had a lot of. I was really struggling this past weekend up at Yellow Jacket because the number of trap armed mat returns I saw, it was really high. Lifts, trips, standing chicken wings to a return to that. Like it was really high, and I'm like, this is definitely illegal.
Well,
Like,
do
go ahead.
you remember? I think it might have been an AAU where they said they're allowed to return them to that side. We just have to like we make the determination whether it's going to be dangerous or not.
Yeah, but if it returns with any kind of force, it is. It was just
Yeah,
green. It was just greenlit this weekend.
yeah,
I mean, we had a kid do one, and the kid forfeited out of the match. And then on the other side of it, we had one done to us, and we probably should have stopped. Our head bounced like a basketball off the mat,
yeah.
and I was like, not good.
Well, I knew it was going to be an interesting tournament when the first thing the announcer says in the morning is talking about the new rules, and it's December.
Yeah, but it's the first allowed tournament in Minnesota.
Oh, really?
That's why Yellow Jacket's a big deal up there. Minnesota can't start hosting youth tournaments until December.
Oh, it's interesting. I didn't know
Don't quote me on that,
that.
but I'm like 99% certain that's a rule.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. I don't know. It. Well, I mean that would make sense for some of the if it's some of those referees first time back into refing from the summer being off.
Yeah,
I mean, it kind of makes sense with some of the stuff I saw. I
yeah.
mean, literally second match of the day, I had to call a ref to the table and be like, uh,
Well, yeah,
there's just
he called off 5 points.
yeah, well,
He called off
basically
3 point takedown, and then he swiped twice for
yeah,
a near ball,
yeah. Our
and
kid
then
basically
wiped them
put
all off.
the kid in a headlock, and the other kid was on their back. The ref does a 2 count of swipes, and then they roll like the other kid rolls back to his belly and ends up getting on top. And he waves off our takedown and back points and says, no, it was a takedown for the other guy. And I'm just like, it's like, oh, this is what makes me mad when they don't want to listen at all.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to hear me and then tell me I'm wrong, that's fine. I'm still gonna think I'm right, but you have to hear me first. And so I start to like explain. I'm like, hey, you swipe, and before I could even say you swiped near fall, he said it was way too fast. I took it off because I awarded the takedown too fast. I go, but you had a 2 count of back points that implies control. You can take the back points off. Like if you don't think we had control for back points, that's fine. But if we had enough control for a takedown, we still get a takedown. But he wouldn't hear it. He wouldn't hear it. That was going to be my argument, but he wouldn't hear any of it. And he would just kept going over top of me, which is whatever. But I was just like, man, you're just not you're handling this a little poorly. You're not even listening to what I'm saying. I don't know what we're supposed to do. He goes, I can give you a warning, coach. And I'm like, I'm literally haven't even raised my voice. I'm trying to discuss a call with you in the protocol that is determined, which is approach the table, ask the question. You won't even let me ask a question.
Yeah. That's where the demons come out.
Yeah, I was just, and it was second match of the day, so I was just ready. I was just hot right away.
Like I'll approach the table. We'll have a genuine conversation about it. But if you're gonna get hostile towards me, then I'm putting my feet down. And now we're stuck here. Because then I'll be like, fine, head official. You don't want to talk to me? Get the head official over here. I don't care what time it is. You're being a jackass.
Yeah.
So, like when, but by all accounts, and this is not true for everybody. We're definitely in the minority here. I try to approach each situation as like, hey, help me see what you saw. Because I'm not understanding your interpretation of this. And it's not heated, I'm not screaming, I'm not doing anything. But if I go over there and I'm met with hostility, I'll match instantly. And now we're here.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, I'm sure it's hard for them. If it's late in the day and they've been called to the table a lot, and by people with less cool heads than others, I'm sure it's hard for them to separate every situation individually.
yeah, they got a hard job.
Yeah.
They got a really hard job. But I think if we, I still think that like I guess they're a little bit like an abused woman. Like anytime they get approached, they flinch. So, like my thing is like maybe we like that's why we're really intentional about not coming across as hostile, so we can diffuse that right away. But if that respect's not going to go both ways, then okay, now I am gonna cross the line and I am gonna say something stupid and probably about you as a person.
Yeah.
But for the most part, anytime I've had a conflict with an official, it's just been a misunderstanding in terms of like, here's the rule, here's how I saw it, here's how he saw it. He has the say, right?
Yeah.
But poor interpretation of rules, poor, poor interpretation of rules is the thing that triggers me the fastest. And I will give you the best example because this is my low light. This is my official encounter low light.
Okay.
We are in overtime with a kid. Each kid has a stall call against them. We're in overtime. We shoot a double leg. We try to finish, and the action, like we stand up, we run, we flare, we try to drag our toes, it ends out of bounds. I'm not kidding, bro. They called us for stalling.
Mm-hmm.
match over. So I stand up and I'm like, hey, did you mean to call us for stalling? And he goes, yeah, you ran him straight out of bounds. And I was like, come here. We are discussing this. Come here. And he goes, in the rule book, it says anytime you take action straight out of bounds, it's an auto stall call. And I was like, bro, you have to understand what is happening here. You cannot call a kid in overtime who is in on a double leg trying to finish for stalling. He goes, yes, I can. And I did. Match over. Your kid loses. He's stalling. So then it became this big horrible deal. And he goes, do you want me to verify this? We can go talk to another official. And I go, yeah, let's go do it. So we walk over there and he goes, hey, if a kid picks you up and runs you out of bounds, is that stalling? And I go, stop. This
Yeah.
is not what happened. This
No.
is not what happened at all. So I tell him, I go, hey, here's the situation. We're in overtime. It's tied 0-0. Both guys have a stall call against them. We shoot a double leg. We go to finish. We drive out of bounds. He calls us for stalling. Is that the right call? And the guy goes, yep. And I go, you're a pussy. I lose my mind at this point. I go, you are only taking his side even though you know he's wrong and it's the wrong thing to do. You need to teach him the rules because he is not doing this correctly.
Yeah.
And this guy goes, Coach, if this conversation continues, we're going to have to take it outside. And I go, I will take both of you outside and I will be the only one making it back inside this building. And he kind of like looked at me and he goes, go away, coach. And I was like, you're both wrong and this is the wrong thing to do.
Yeah.
Low light, but still up there for worst call I've ever seen. Low implications. We're talking about a random, like, I think it was Hawkeye Nationals or Winter Nationals or something like that. Like, it was a low level tournament. It's not as bad as the headgear pull in the NCAA finals. That clearly happened. But what do you even do with that? What do you even do with that?
I don't know.
I guess you fight him outside. I was prepared to. I was trying to go home anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Highlights, though, there is nothing better than throwing a brick and having an official be like, "What are you challenging?" And then the challenging getting overturned and the score challenging, and that official having to walk the brick back to you. It is
Oh
the
yeah.
best. It is the best feeling on earth.
Yeah. That happened
Oh,
to me
good
at P and L.
challenge, coach.
It happened to me
Yeah.
at P and L. This dude, so you could only challenge specific things, and like we were on our back or something, and he swiped like 4 times in 2 seconds, or something crazy. Like I was like, hey, there was only 2 seconds left. You swiped way too many times. So I throw the brick, and he's like, the he walks over to the table and goes, the towel tapper said there was enough time left for that many. I go, he's wrong. And I threw, and so he handed me the brick, and I just throw it back on the mat. I'm like, I'm challenging, and he goes, okay. I go, okay. He comes back. He's like, you're right. It was only 2. I go, yeah, I know. Give me that.
Yeah.
I
They
just,
count pretty fast sometimes.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. I'm I like challenge bricks, but I hate challenge bricks.
yeah.
I think there should be a clause. I think there should be a clause like, hey, we both know what this challenge is going to come back as. Let's just agree to it and then not worry about it.
Who agreed
Like,
to
we
it?
don't need to go through this challenge process. We both
Oh,
know, like, we both know that was a takedown. We both know that that wasn't a takedown. Like, do we really need to waste this time? Let's get this thing moving.
yeah, yeah. I don't
But
know.
I haven't had too many super bad interactions with officials. I did have an official. Oh, this was interesting. Last year at girls AAU state. So we have a girl on her back out of bounds, and she, I don't know, something happened, but he was like, I can't swipe near fall. It's like her knees were out or something like that. And I told him, I go, yeah, but we have a chance to pull her back in bounds to get our near fall. And he was like, what? And I go, yeah. I go, I understand that if our knees are out of bounds, that we can't get near fall, but that's not the criteria for out of bounds. You just don't have to swipe. We're allowed to pull her back in and pin her. And he kind of looks at me and he's like, what are you saying? And I was like, we threw her. You gave us takedown points because we met takedown criteria. We had 2 feet in bounds. But our knees weren't in bounds, so we don't meet near fall criteria. However, we are still in bounds. You don't stop the match. You allow us the opportunity to pull her back into criteria and pin her. And this guy just couldn't wrap his head around it.
Yeah.
He just couldn't wrap his head around it. And then at the end of it, he's like, you know what? I'm going to teach you something right now. He
Oh
walks
boy.
me to the table and fucking warns me. And I go, what am I learning? What am I learning here? Like, I don't understand. You're the person who made the mistake here. I don't get this.
Well, don't say you're going to teach somebody something and then warn them and give them nothing.
He gave me nothing.
Like,
I went straight up to the head table. I was straight up to the head table, and I was like, take this away. And the guy was like, yeah, that's ridiculous. Are you kidding me? They took it away.
yeah. Yeah.
He just had never thought about it.
Yeah. I mean, it is, at first look, it is weird, but then it immediately is understandable when you say it.
Yeah.
But good news is, don't have to worry about it anymore.
No, you don't.
So,
You don't. I wish it
so
was a cylinder. I wish it was a cylinder. That would be a little more.
that's such
I'd
a,
enjoy that a little more, but
yeah, it should, I mean, it should be, but like, it doesn't seem any harder than saying 1 point of contact and bounds. It really doesn't.
yeah, especially when so my thing is like you have to remain in contact with the mat. How is an official supposed to look for near fall and to make sure points of contact are down in bounds?
Yeah, but you could,
We don't have chameleon eyes.
no, I thought about the same thing, not about the eyes, but they have to look at their feet anyway to see if they're still inbounds, or look at whatever to
Yeah,
see if
but
they're still so whether they're inbounds. So it just
oh
gives
yeah,
them it just gives them an extra thing to have to think about is the problem. They still
absolutely.
have to look over there, like okay, are they inbounds still? Yes. Okay, are they pinning them, or are they inbounds? Yes, or are their feet up?
Right.
Yeah.
And you can kind of tell, like, okay, hey, we're we're definitely close enough that I can take my eyes off of these feet and call a pin. But now it's like, hey, we're teetering back and forth. If his feet come up, I can't call the pin, but I also need to look at this pin, and the pin might need to be called from behind the action. I don't know. It's tough.
Yeah.
I will say this. Um, I'm glad we have officials. They definitely need to be treated better, or at least approached better.
Yeah.
But this all comes back to the same thing. This all comes back to the same thing. We need to educate coaches better. And really, what I mean by that is we have to figure out a way to get parents off the mat.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. I mean,
Like the
it's certain types of.
yeah, but even if an ignorant coach approaches an official nicely and they're not an actual coach, it's a waste of time. I guess like what I'm saying is that the only barrier to becoming a coach is $15 per tournament.
Yeah.
Nothing is set up to create an environment that allows our officials to have good interactions on the regular because every single match especially 10U and below. Especially 10U and below. These dudes are just under attack.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they're yeah. I mean, you saw it in Tulsa. I mean, they were just getting screamed at by people from the chair. The refs were getting screamed at. Not even
Oh, yeah.
they weren't even coaching their athlete. It's like, guys, what? Why?
You know? I mean, I don't feel bad letting an official know they're doing a bad job if I'm super confident that I know they're doing a bad job. I think still the biggest downfall is that most officials are being told they're doing a bad job by people who can't do half a good job.
Yeah.
And that's why it still comes back to me. Like, listen, if this is football and a parent in the stands is yelling at the official has nothing to worry about. There's so many feet between that parent and the official,
Yeah.
and there's other things going on. Like, it's crazy. In our sport, you're 12 feet away, and there is no barrier. And this guy's charged.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So, feels bad. Treat them better. I don't know. Maybe people will approach them in a different manner, but I'm glad I'm not an official.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
I will say this: the head officials, the guys who are like actually at the top of USA Wrestling, those guys do a great job.
Yeah. You can bring anything to those guys, and they'll calmly address it and give you an accurate, non um, biased answer.
Yeah, like Sammy does a great job. Cliff does a great job. Who's your buddy?
Um,
Kid from Georgia.
there's two. So Nolan Metters
Nolan.
and
Nolan does a
Evan
good job.
Evan Burchett does a good job too. He was at Super 32. He actually just refed. I think he refed some duel I watched on TV the other day.
Yeah, and then Dwayne, he's out in Utah. That guy does a pretty good job. He understands the rules. I like when he's on the whistle. There's a younger fella as well. Some of the lady officials are doing a great job as well. Um, but I think they have structure and organization and training and they're being helped.
And they try.
That's the big thing.
And they try. The most this is this will be the last thing that'll be said probably because I got to get out of here to go wrestle.
Yeah.
But the most frustrating and just baffling thing I've heard in all my years was discussing a call with a referee and them saying, "What are you talking about?"
Oh my God.
And I'm saying it's in it. I literally read it in the rule book. This is how it's said. And he's
We're,
like, "Can you show me?" And I said, "Yes." So I pull up the rule book on my phone and I show it to him. He goes, "What rule book is this?" I go, "The UWW rule book, the one that all of USA Wrestling uses for freestyle and the entire world uses for their freestyle in Greco." He goes, maybe I should read that one.
yeah.
I almost lost my mind.
He's a Fargo finalist official.
I almost lost my mind.
Yeah, that was bad.
And it wasn't the first weekend of freestyle. Like, it wasn't like
No,
he just
it
was
was the weekend
behind.
before. It was the weekend before Vegas, and then he officiated at Vegas,
Yeah.
which was a UWW tournament. He was doing U17s.
Yeah.
Which also, this kind of comes back. Let's go full circle here.
Okay.
Pick a fucking rule set.
Yeah.
Pick a rule set. I make it a USA event or a UWW event. I don't care, but then follow the rules to the letter.
Yeah,
That's a UWW event. They need to have UWW singlets, and you need to follow UWW weigh-in protocol. You need to follow UWW rules, regulations, all of it.
yeah,
They mix them, and it drives me nuts.
yeah, yeah.
Because if it's a UWW tournament, it's supposed to be a 2-day tournament. They ran Greco all in one day. Nobody had UWW sanctioned singlets. Uh,
Um, doesn't have to be 2 days. It's not required.
oh, really? I
Yeah, I
thought
mean
for all.
the
I
ranking
thought for
series stuff
all.
goes one day.
Yeah, that's true. That's
I don't.
true.
I don't think it's a requirement. I think if there might be some kind of like level of event or number of
Yeah,
entrants or something that's like, okay, we have to make this a 2 day.
yeah, that's true.
But I don't think it's a requirement regardless because you got a 3-man round robin like they do at some of these ranking series.
Yeah,
You're not. We don't want to be there for 2 days.
yeah, but even the smallest Pan Am bracket is 2 day.
Yeah. So that's my point. Is it might be like a level of tournament if it's a continental
Yeah,
championship or if it's a world championship or whatever. But yeah, I
yeah,
agree. Pick a rule set. I get some of the things are hard to or might not be as convenient to apply, but the rest of the world is doing it, or your organization or whatever. But
yeah. All right. Well, that's enough talk about officials. I'm gonna go hit my head against the wall for a little bit.
yeah, you've got me at a level. Now I can go whoop Cade's ass.
Yeah. Also, shout out Ty Martin.
Did you beat his ass this morning?
Uh, we just light sparred this morning.
Mm,
Um, I'm just doing some trying to get him to wrestle through positions in defense and offense a little bit more. So when I say we rolled around this morning, we literally rolled around this morning,
nice,
trying to get him a
nice.
little bit better at understanding ankle scrambles.
Yeah,
Split the legs, you win.
yeah. That's probably. I'll probably just have Cade shoot a bunch of me, and I'll grab his ankles a bunch, and he'll get real mad.
Yeah, that's probably right. Just stop sign, ankle hook.
Yeah, yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Well, episode 8 in the books.
Indeed.
Um, shout out Sausage. Shout out Mudang.
No.
Shout out Ty Martin.